Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Mass Retirees Weekly Update. Today's Friday, February 25th. I'm Sean Duhamel. Thank you so much for joining with us and tuning in again this week. Now, it's been a bit of a strange week, a bit of some ups and downs this week. Because first of all, if you're here in New England, you know that we went from a 70-degree day here in Boston on Wednesday to a snowstorm today on Friday and a bitter cold weekend coming up. Now, I know from living in Massachusetts and New England my entire life, the old saying goes, if you don't like the weather, wait a day and it's going to change. I understand that, but this is extreme even for us. It's just crazy. So if you're not here in Massachusetts and you're not enduring a snowstorm right now, congratulations. You're probably a little bit better off, but hey, the days are getting longer, it's lighter, March is right around the corner, so things are looking up. The other thing, a couple of things I just wanted to mention just very, very quickly. I think all of us were horrified and shocked late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning when the news broke that Russia has invaded the Ukraine, and beyond the horrific humanitarian toll that this is going to take, and war back in Europe for the first time in generations. It's a terrible, awful thing, and hopefully cooler heads prevail and peace can come relatively quickly. There's also a tremendous economic impact that really can be felt by all of us. And you know that we've been reporting in these weekly updates and in our newsletter about the tremendous success of our public retirement systems and the asset gains that we've made over the years. Well, all of that is dependent upon a strong national economy here in the United States, not just Massachusetts, but in the U.S. as well as globally. All of these issues and certainly the financial condition and the economies are all intertwined and interconnected. And what happens in one part of the world almost has an immediate impact on other parts of the world. And we're seeing that just by the reaction across the globe. So it's something that we're concerned with. Unfortunately, we don't have any direct control over these things, but we just have to hope for the best. The other very sad news that we got this week was the passing of our dear friend and strong, staunch retiree advocate, Roy Sacko. Roy passed away about a week ago at the age of 88. He was a retired Belmont firefighter, longtime elected member of the Belmont Retirement Board, former chairman of the Belmont Retirement Board, and just an all-around fantastic human being and a mentor of mine, someone that I have known for nearly 30 years. Roy's son, Michael, is one of the leading pension attorneys here in Massachusetts. He's someone that's been a personal friend for the whole time I've been here at Mass Retirees, so nearly 30 years. And the Sacko family are just wonderful people. So our hearts go out to Roy's wife, Rochelle, and Michael, and his siblings, and the extended Sacko family. But one of the reasons why I wanted to mention this is that in recent months in our newsletter and in these reports, you've heard us refer to it and make the statement that the success of the retirement systems and these tremendous asset gains that have been seen over the past decade or more, that those successes should be shared with the retirees. And that is a sentiment that goes all the way back to the mid-1980s when people like Roy Sacko and Ralph White and John Jennings, and the list of these individuals goes on, but all of them at that time and throughout their careers were advocating for a well-funded retirement system, that the employer, the government, was paying their fair share, and that we moved away from the old pay-as-you-go system to this new funded system, which over the past 30 plus years has led to tremendous success. And for us to be in the position that we're in today with a very stable system that can benefit the members. And I distinctly remember very early on in my career here at Mass Retirees hearing Roy repeatedly make the statement that the public retirement systems exist to benefit the members. And that was something that he and Ralph and the other founders of our modern retirement systems really believed in, and they worked hard to create the system that we now have in place. So Roy's passing this week sort of just brought all this home here for all of us here at Mass Retirees, and I wanted to share that with all of you because it's important. Now, moving on to brighter things, because that's really our focus is to improve the lives of our members, improve the lives of public retirees, and to be your advocates here in Massachusetts as well as nationally. Now, here in Massachusetts, we're about to enter into the remaining 5 months of the current legislative cycle, or at least the formal legislative cycle, which runs until the end of this coming July. So a bit of a sprint is about to get underway, heading toward that finish line, and we have several Mass Retirees-sponsored bills very much in play. 10 of our bills have been reported favorably out of the Committee on Public Service, as well as a handful of other committees, and are at various stages in the legislative process. All of that information is in the current edition of The Voice, which is your newsletter, and it's something that we've been covering over the past few weeks in a little bit greater detail. In terms of greater detail, you may have noticed in this month's newsletter, as well as previous editions, that from time to time we focus on individual issues as sort of a spotlight series or a deeper dive. And for the March newsletter, we put the spotlight on our veterans legislation. Now, we have two different veterans proposals in play right now. Both of these bills were reported favorably out of the Committee on Public Service. Their lead sponsors are State Senator John Velas from Western Mass and State Representative Jerry Paracella from out here in Eastern Massachusetts from the town of Beverly. Both Senator Velas and Representative Paracella are veterans themselves. It's something that is very near and dear to their hearts. They put a lot of their focus on veterans legislation, and we're very proud and humbled by the fact that they have taken up the charge for these two particular pieces of legislation on our behalf. One of the bills is known as the Veterans Bonus Bill. This piece of legislation would increase the annual veterans bonus from the maximum of $300 that's paid right now to a new maximum of $1,000. So if you had 20 years of service, you would get, and you're a veteran, you would get the full $1,000, and that's built right into the monthly pension check and spread out throughout the year. It doesn't show up as a separate amount. It's not listed on your statement or anything. It's just included as part of the base pension, and this has been the case since the bonus was originally created back in 1957. So it's been around for a long time. We're just trying to improve upon it. In conjunction with this, we also have pending legislation that would retroactively apply the current definition of veteran back to people who were already retired prior to 2002 when that veterans definition was updated. And we have a lot of members, and those of you who have been following this, you know who you are. We hear from you quite frequently, that fell through the cracks, that retired, who had National Guard or reservist time, that you did serve in active duty, but you were not serving during a time of so-called wartime service. That changed with the new definition, but it wasn't applied retroactively to people who were already retired. So this legislation would retroactively apply that benefit. Both of these bills, we believe, have a strong chance of passing this session. They have a lot of support in the legislature. So they're two of the issues that we'll really be focused on over the coming 5 months to see what we can do to finally get these bills passed and have them benefit all of you. The last issue that I want to mention this week is an ongoing issue that just really resurfaced over the past few weeks. And it is a provision that was included in the latest COVID-19 relief legislation that was passed by the House and Senate just a few weeks ago. Governor Baker has acted on this already. He sent the language back, but essentially it would reinstate the post-retirement work waiver for those of you who have returned to public service here in Massachusetts, either on a part-time or a full-time basis due to the pandemic. We have a lot of our members who are helping to pick up the slack and provide essential public services throughout the pandemic. And this would waive the hourly restriction along with the earnings restriction for as long as the emergency orders are in place in 2022. The governor sent some language back. He wants a little bit more clarity around where and when the waiver would expire. But the language the governor sent back is a little bit confusing and convoluted, so it's going to need a little bit more work. But we believe that there is general consensus amongst both branches of the legislature, as well as the Baker administration, to extend the work waiver for some period of time in 2022. We're very thankful for that. We're now working with the Mass Police Association and Mass Cop, as well as the Professional Firefighters Association of Massachusetts, who are our close allies, and collectively we're trying to work these issues through the legislature and bring some certainty to our members who are working in post-retirement. So stay tuned over the next few weeks. As soon as we have some information on this, we'll get it out to all of you. But in the meantime, thank you for tuning in again. Good luck with the snowstorm today, and if you are in a sunnier, warmer part of the world, enjoy your day. We'll talk to you again real soon. Bye-bye.